One of the biggest issues that I see with a lot of ad runners running is that they don't have adequate sequences in place. And this is probably the biggest thing that keeps people from, at that low ad spend level and being stuck there and never really scaling. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you should be setting up your campaigns and sequences so that you can achieve that hyperscale. So I'll give you an example of what the typical ad sequence looks like, what most people are doing, and what you should be striving towards. Now, for those of you that don't know me or are new to the channel, my name is Neil. I run Links Digital, one of the biggest YouTube ad agencies in the world. And if you are a business that's struggling with paid ads or you want to go and hyperscale right away, definitely check out the description down below. And if I can ask one favor from most of you guys is that a lot of you guys aren't subscribed to the channel. It really does help out us a ton when you guys subscribe and like the video. So with that said, let me jump into my computer and show you exactly what most typical offers are going to be like and what they're really missing out on. All right, so your typical offer, and again, this can be applied to a ton of different offers out there. I'm just going to use a simple book call funnel because that's one of the more common funnels that we see online. So you have, your ads leading to an opt-in page, to a VSL, to a schedule page, like a thank you page, right, where they can schedule a call. Now you can kind of replace this funnel with a e-commerce funnel. So replace the VSL page with a sales page. And then instead of having a schedule page, you can have the add to cart page, right? The fundamentals and like the theory stays very similar between the two. So let's take your typical funnel. So we'll have a ad, right? So we have your YouTube ad, and let's call it number 1, and this leads to a opt-in page. So we have the opt-in page, and then what typically happens is from the opt-in page you go to a page that has the VSL, and then from the VSL you go to some sort of application / scheduling page. That's my very poor attempt at a Calendly page. And then hopefully from the application / scheduling page, if the lead is qualified, you go to a sales call page. So I'll just put in a phone here. That's a phone. And then hopefully from the sales call, you get a sale and you make money. So this is what most businesses do, right? They're not really testing out very many YouTube ads. Maybe they have a couple. And if they're found a winner, they kind of stick to it. And then basically once the person is off YouTube or the platform or wherever the ads are running, they just go through the funnel. And this is usually good enough to break even, right? Especially if you have a good offer. And what I see is like you can definitely get to 100K a month, 200K a month, just like this. However, your ROAS, you're probably looking at, if you have an exceptional product, you're probably looking at a 3x ROAS. However, if you want a better return on your ad spend, what you're going to start doing is, first thing is testing more ads. So instead of just having one of these ads or your first batch, you start doing a few of them. So you add 2, and then every month what you can do is you can bring in a new ad that you try and test, right? So you'll have a couple that always work well for your campaigns. All these are pointing to the opt-in page, and then boom. All right, so once you are starting to test ads, what I see a lot of people then do is they'll set up some remarketing, right? So what most people do is take anybody who, hasn't closed, hasn't reached this stage, and then in between they've entered the funnel but hasn't booked a phone call, so they will launch YouTube remarketing ads. And this is great because yes, you are hitting up people that came in through your cold channel, but there's no level of sophistication here. So the next level above this, so if the base level is just a plain ad, person goes through the funnel, the next level is you're testing a bunch of ads. The next level after that is you have a blanket remarketing campaign, and now you're bringing in people that kind of fell through your funnel, right? If this is a client journey and people are going from left to right, and obviously not 100% of your traffic is going to end up in sales, but you want to capture as many people that fall off these things, right? There's going to be a percentage of people that fall off between your opt-in page and your VSL page. They just won't opt in. So you're going to remarket to them with these things. So the next level above this is you are going to want to have remarketing campaigns between every single one of these steps. So you're going to be making dedicated remarketing ads and targeting all these people in between each step and segmenting your audiences. Again, I know this is a lot of work. However, it doesn't cost a lot to remarket, especially if you are remarketing smaller and smaller segments. And as you'll see, right, each segment, you're going to have less and less people. Right? Let's say maybe you get 10,000 eyeballs on your YouTube ads. Maybe 1,000 people go to your opt-in page. That would be a great click-through rate. But let's say, 100,000 people saw your ads, 1,000 people go to your opt-in page. Let's say you're getting 20% VSL percentage. So you have 200 people at your VSL, right? So let's do this. So let's say you have 100,000 people. Now at your opt-in page, you have 1,000. 200 go to the VSL. Out of that, maybe 20% will go to the schedule page. So you have 40 people. Out of that, let's say 50% book. So you have 20 sales calls, and then you're closing 1 in 20. So you have 4 sales, right? That's a very typical funnel. However, you see how many people that you're kind of dropping with each step. And these are people that have shown somewhat of an interest between your promise, right? Clearly, there's something that spoke to them. That's why they clicked on the ad, or they went to the opt-in page, or they went to the VSL. What's basically missing is they don't like you, they don't trust you, or they don't believe that your product or service will actually deliver on the promise, right? So how do we fix this? Again, like I said, if you're going to be sophisticated about it, you need dedicated remarketing ads at each one of these segments, addressing the drop-off points, right? So like I said, it's going to be a ton of work, but it's not super expensive, and it does make a huge difference, right? Like if you can increase your conversion percentage instead of 50% to 75% or 70%, all of a sudden this number goes from 20 to maybe, let's say it goes to 30, right? Now, if you're still closing at 20%, you got 6 sales instead of 4. And that could be thousands of dollars. And this campaign, I bet you, is going to cost way less to remarket to these 40 people than it is to get another 100,000 people in or 50,000 people in to see the same results. So I hope the math kind of makes sense. These campaigns are so powerful. So you're going to want to set up campaigns, remarketing campaigns. So we're going to do one. So this is going to be people that saw your ad but didn't opt in. So number 1. And then we'll have, so you're going to set up all these remarketing campaigns. As you can see, our first remarketing campaign would be somebody that clicked but didn't opt in. So this is somebody that was kind of interested in your ad but didn't really opt in. Maybe they were busy. They were like, oh, I don't have time for this free training or free case study. You definitely want to remarket to this segment because probably it is going to be the best one. So in this scenario, this is 99,000 people. And then your next remarketing campaign is going to be people that opted in but didn't watch your VSL or didn't watch your VSL all the way through. And again, if you want to be super sophisticated with this, you can actually segment this into 2, right? And branch off into a completely different ad. And this could be people that watch your VSL for a certain amount of time. So let's say you have a 20-minute VSL and your first remarketing ad is for people that watch the VSL for 5 minutes or less. And the second one is 5 minutes or more. And the reason we want to segment these 2 people is because obviously the purchase intent or how interested they are in your product or service is definitely different between those 2 categories. Obviously, people that have watched your VSL for a longer period of time are going to be more interested. So you can be a little bit more sophisticated in the language of that second VSL remarketing ad. You can be a little bit more technical, a little bit more direct, and kind of address a little bit some of the objections a little bit more differently. Whereas like the first remarketing could be just like, hey, saw that you started watching our VSL, but maybe didn't have time. Right? So those are 2 different segments. And the similar thing can apply to your remarketing ad number 3, which is going to be people that actually watched the VSL and clicked on the button to book a call. And maybe they didn't fill out an application because they were like, oh man, this guy's asking for too much information, or maybe this isn't for me, or they just got busy. So you are going to want to remarket to those people. And again, the way you remarket to these people is going to be very different than the way you remarket to the people that either opted in but didn't click that button. So you can say, hey, I saw you started working on your application, but you didn't finish through. Would you like to speak one-on-one with one of our salespeople? Whereas like this one, you could say, hey, saw that you started watching the VSL, but didn't finish it all the way through. Here's a link to watch the VSL again. Right? So again, the way you market to each one of these segments is going to be very, very different. And same thing, this is going to be people that submitted an application, but maybe didn't show up for a call. Now, this is a huge thing that the entire industry kind of struggles with, which is like show up rates. And, the benchmark that we're really looking for is at bare minimum 50%. If 50% of your calls aren't showing up, that means either your offer isn't great or your follow-up systems aren't great. And one of the best ways I've found to actually increase show up rate is with remarketing ads. And specifically for this segment where it's like you scheduled a call, but you actually didn't show up to it. We get it. Life gets in the way. Here's another link to book a call directly. You don't have to sit through the VSL again. You don't have to submit an application again. Here's just a link to book a call, right? So at this point, you're hoping, everybody at this stage has been qualified. They're sold on your promise. Maybe something happened. A lot of times people don't show up to calls. This is a great way to increase show rate. And then finally, the last people, like maybe they had a call and they ghosted you. They haven't bought. Again, obviously you should be doing manual follow-up at this stage as well. But remarketing ads, they can be used to blast some objections. People might have some reservations. So this is where, you have ads addressing a lot of those doubts that people might have. So this is a bit more of a sophisticated ad sequence. And again, this is the type of thing that takes your ROAS from 3x all the way to 5, 6, 7x. And the reason for that is because, like I said, you're not really spending that much money on these campaigns. However, the impact of these campaigns is so much bigger because you are going after a highly, highly intent audience, right? These are people that have been qualified. They already know and like you. This is awesome. However, I want to take it a step further because in 2025, this is great, but we realize that most funnels they don't work like this. I wish that most funnels were this simple, this easy, where it was like a straight line ad to opt into VSL to book to close. However, this is not the case. And we found that going into 2025 and beyond, this is not going to be the case. Funnels like this are going to become a lot more rare. And the reason for this is because the level of trust and market sophistication has really increased. So you definitely don't need a lot more trust than you did before to sell something online, especially through ads. And then obviously market sophistication, right? YouTube ads aren't a new proposition. People have seen them. People have gone through funnels before. So if you are going to stand out, you can't just rely on this. And what we found is like once people opt in or they give their email or they say, hey, I'm interested in some of the promise, what tends to happen is they will oftentimes, there's these 800 people that didn't really go to the VSL or even the 1,000 people that did, they will go to other assets that your business has. So from your opt-in, what we find is you will get people tailing off in other areas. So what tends to happen is these people that are interested in whatever you're selling, they will opt in or maybe they'll check out your website or something, and they may or may not go through your funnel regardless of how many retargeting campaigns you have. But what they will do is engage with your business in other areas, and we've seen this. And this is what like social selling or dark social or multi-pronged selling is all about, where people will need multiple touch points with your business before they buy something from you. And you don't necessarily get that with just funnels, right? So what ends up happening is people, they'll obviously opt into your newsletter if you get the email, or they'll join your community. A lot of people have Facebook groups, school groups, or whatever, and they'll engage with your business, even though they didn't go through the VSL, they didn't book a call, but they're trying to get to know your business, what you're really about inside your community, and trying to get that trust. Or one of the big things is they'll follow you on your social media. So they'll follow you on Instagram or go through your entire YouTube channel, right? So maybe they see an ad about something that they're super curious about. Maybe they just aren't ready to purchase anything, or they don't trust you. So they'll go check out a lot of your other content. And what ends up happening is people will, fall out of the funnel and go to one of these other assets. And this can happen at any point, right? This could happen after the opt-in. This could happen after the ad. This could happen after the VSL or even after they book a call, right? A lot of times people will discover these things after. So in 2025, to be an expert marketer, what you need to start doing is taking these people that enter your community and re-engaging them inside of your funnel. So not only do you want remarketing ads of people that just fell off, but you also want to take things like your newsletter and point them back into your VSL. You want to point them back into your sales channel, right? Into your funnels. And all of these things need to point back at least to the VSL. You could try opt-ins or other assets that you might have, right? So here we can swap out the VSL, right? This doesn't necessarily have to be a VSL. This could be a case study or a new training or something completely different, right? So you bring them in with a new piece of content that's designed to sell your product or service. And now that you have those remarketing ads, right? So you'll have all of these remarketing ads that are going to all point to your sales assets back, right? And this is how the cycle becomes, right? Even if they don't go through this straight line, if people don't go through this straight line, they will come down into your community and then be guided by those remarketing campaigns back to your sales asset, right? This is your main moneymaker, right? So, because this is the thing that really sells whatever you're saying. So you're going to be sending people all the way back. Now, if you want to take it a step further, and this is one of those things that's like, again, you don't have to lose sleep over it. However, if you are somebody that really wants to scale and you're spending a lot of money, what you want to do is set up remarketing campaigns for these assets, for your middle of funnel, call it your community, your business engaging assets themselves. So these are going to be ads that bring people back in, right? These are awesome. So what you're going to want to do is set up remarketing campaigns for these individual assets themselves. So in this case, right, we can set up a newsletter remarketing campaign, and this is very easy to do and segment your list, right? What you can do is every month you send out your newsletter, and obviously not everyone's going to open it. So you can have ads that are specifically addressing people that haven't clicked on your newsletter in the last like 3 or 4 months and inviting them back into your newsletter. And you can make a simple ad saying something like, hey, I saw that you opted into our newsletter, but you haven't opened opened our emails in the last 3 months. Here, come check out this brand new training that I made specifically for our newsletter, and you bring people back in. Same thing with your community. Say, hey, saw that you're part of our community, but you really haven't engaged in it in the last couple of months. If you're looking for some help, or you want something one-on-one, or you want a brand new training or case study, definitely join back into the community. And this is one of those things that I love doing with socials as well, because it's very, very easy to get your audience that you've worked super hard to re-engage with your content, especially if your content isn't doing as well as it used to, right? So a lot of times people will come in, they won't necessarily engage with it super long term. So this is a very easy way to make sure that your content not only gets to them, but also re-engages them and brings them all back into your sphere. And I like to call this your sphere of influence. So all of these sophisticated remarketing campaigns, not only do they feed into each other, but they all should be leading the potential customer back to your sales assets. And that's the key difference, right? You're not just remarketing for the sake of remarketing. You're remarketing with a purpose, because you're trying to get these 1,000 people that are here to re-engage with your business. So this little drop off that's here, right? This 800 people, you want to remarket to them and capitalize to make that extra profit. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you like this sort of advanced kind of tactics. These are the things that we're doing with our own clients. This is what I'm trying to set up with our own internal stuff that we're running all the ads. And maybe that's why you see some of our stuff all over. But this is the level that it takes to actually succeed and get those great returns, right? Those companies that you see scale to 8 and 9 figures, they're all doing this. The ones that are stuck at 6 and 7 figures, they're not. They're just using the simple VSL that is straight line. So if you are somebody that wants to get to 8, 9 figures, definitely subscribe to the channel and start implementing this.